up, Revo fans? Today we're going to give you a little bit of a rundown on the frame set itself from my Santa Cruz Nomad CC SRAM transmission bike. This bike was supplied by SRAM when we went down to Medina, and after that to test out the new SRAM transmission, the AXS transmission, as well as the new Code Ultimate stealth brakes. But in doing so, whilst riding around my local trails, and as well like a lot of the feedback from our videos on those products, we've got heaps of questions about the Nomad bike itself. So today we're just going to do like a little bit of a mini review. A few other interesting features that Santa Cruz do these days that a lot of companies don't do is proportional geometry. So I myself ride a medium bike. If somebody rides a large bike or a small bike, that means that the rear chainstay length and actually the seat tube angle as well is going to adjust depending on the overall size of the bike. So small frame, shorter rear end and a bit of a slacker seat angle, larger frame, steeper seat angle, longer chainstay. So that's very, very cool, adaptation to that. Also along with that, they do different stiffnesses through the actual carbon makeup for the different sizes. So obviously like a bigger rider is going to be a little bit heavier, so they need a bit of a stiffer bike to be able to take the larger forces, whereas a smaller, lighter weight rider doesn't need a stiffer bike. They can do it with a little bit more flex, giving a more comfortable ride. So that's a couple of real neat features that only Santa Cruz do, really, particularly around the stiffness factor, but as well, there's not a lot of brands doing proportional geometry these days. Outside of that, the Nomad is now mullet. They call it the MX. So we've got a 29 front wheel, obviously 27.5 rear, whereas traditionally it's been a 27.5 bike front and rear. This is their long travel fun bike. So we've got 170 millimeters of travel out the rear end and quite relaxed geometry, obviously. This thing's a bit of a enduro slayer, little dude downhill laps happily all day long, but also super nimble, fun play bike. So you could definitely ride this at the bike park, nice big jumps, these types of things. One thing I've noticed, like this CC carbon frame is super lightweight, really, really lightweight. At first I was like, damn, this like is maybe a little bit too lightweight. I like to have a little bit of beef underneath me. I don't mind necessarily lugging that uphill if it's going to make for a bit more stable, confident ride on the way down. Especially being a shorter guy myself, I ride smaller bikes, so a little bit of extra weight helps with stability. But overall, the bike rides really, really well. I've been super tempted not to send this one back to SRAM. I hope they don't ask for it back anytime soon. But yeah, a little bit of a rundown on what the new versions of the Nomad look like.